Alright guys, I'm going to be showing you how to update a Dell laptop. This is a Dell Inspiron 15, I think model 3511. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be adding a M2 NVMe slot. It's 1TB by Crucial. We'll add another stick of 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm also going to be adding this Kingston SSD. This is 480 gigabytes on this. So this computer comes from the factory with 8 gigs of RAM already installed, and it has a M.2, but it's only 256 gigabytes. But I'm just going to show you a quick run through kind of how to change this out. This applies to anybody that wants to maybe update from a normal hard drive to an SSD, or if you just want to upgrade your RAM or just replacement. The steps are pretty much the same for all of it. But we'll run through, and this Dell has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that we have to take out to pull this back cover off. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Right here. And when you're working on this, if you have like a little container you can put your screws in, or like a little magnetic pad that will hold them, that'll come in handy because you definitely don't want to lose any of these. So I've noticed on the corner screws, this one and this one here, once it's apart, there's a little bit of a lock washer, so these won't come all the way out, kind of like a snap ring. So we'll just loosen those up. They won't come all the way out. So it should be good enough on those. And then you want to take like a plastic like spudger, or one that looks kind of like a guitar pick, such as this, to kind of reach in to pop the cover off. You just kind of put this under the edge and then just walk it through a little bit at a time till it comes loose. Just be careful not to put too much pressure on this, because you could snap the back cover on here. Again, you want to use plastic. You don't want to stick metal in here, also because you still have power to the battery. Your capacitors will still hold a charge. You don't want a chance shorting anything out. Okay. Once you got that loose, just set it to the side. Okay. You can see this is a newer computer. Still has the plastic cover in. This is the screws for the SSD here that's never been took out. This is one stick of RAM. This is 8 gigs. This is another slot of for RAM. It's DDR4 in this laptop. Your M.2 is going to be under this cover. There's a little tiny Phillips head screw here that you'll take out to remove that. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Slide that metal plate off. So this is the M.2 that come with it. It's like I said, it's 256 gig. It just literally pops up and just wiggle it right out. Notice the orientation on here as well, so when you put your other one back in, make sure it lines up. Your pins are the same as you go to install it. Also, on your M.2s, they normally include the screw that's made for it to hold it down back here. Just put that right in where the other one come out. Should slide right in. Then you're just going to push it into place. Put this cover right back on. We'll use our screwdriver. We'll line that back up. Just tighten that down. Okay, so when you change your M.2, you're going to have your operating system loaded onto a jump drive, because this is going to take your operating system. So if you have Windows 10, 11, where you may have, just make sure you have an ISO file saved to a jump drive, and you're going to boot it from that jump drive to add the OS. I'm actually going to set this one up to run Kali Linux, so I have an ISO file already prepared on USB to do that. This is my new stick RAM. This is crucial as well. 8 gigabytes, DDR4 3200. So to release this RAM, you'll see there's two little like indentions here, like springs. If you'll pull those, the RAM will pop up. So that's how you just do it. You just stick it back in, and you just push it down into place. It'll snap in. Same way on the other one. Line up your line with your slot that's inside here as well. Line it up, push it right in. RAM's installed, or M.2 is installed. Now we're going to work on our SSD. So I don't need that screw that come with the other one, because we have one already. It holds it in place just like where we need it. Now with this, you have 4 screws to take out. There's one here, one there, one there. So we'll go ahead and pull those little screws out to remove the tray to put our SSD in. Okay, once you have that, the cover's going to come out. This is your SATA connector for your power and your connection. Okay. Be careful with that. If you'll notice on your SSD, you can see the slots, like this will only go one way, so you can't put it in backwards. So if it feels like you're getting a lot of resistance when you're trying to force it, don't force it, because you can bend or break these little tabs on here, and then this drive will be done for. So you can hook it in here first, or you can go ahead and mount it to the case it comes in. They also give you the screw, well, Dell gives you the screws for this one as well to mount your SSD to the cage here. So go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll get it installed here. Okay, if you'll look, your SSD is going to line up. There's little thread holes here. That's on both sides, here and here. So you're going to take your screws, line up your holes, and then just tighten them down. Don't have to be super tight. This isn't going to be moving around, so just kind of good and snug. You don't want to strip out your screws. Or something that's really helpful. This is a magnetic screwdriver, a magnetic tip on one. Helps kind of hold the bolts in place for you to get it screwed down there. Once we have that, go ahead and hook up our SATA cable. Like I said, you can see as long as your ends match up so it'll fit. Pops right in. Just let you cover down. We're going to add your 4 bolts back to hold this bracket down. Again, guys, this is where a magnetic screwdriver really comes in handy. These little spots like this. All right. Check our connections. Also, sometimes it's a good idea to disconnect your battery. But I've done this a few times. I'm comfortable working with it live power. So, but on this one, you can see the cord coming in for the battery. You would just disconnect it here where this ribbon cable and stuff goes in. So, but RAM's installed, our new M.2 is installed, our SSD is installed. So now what we're going to do is put the cover back on. And it will just sit right back in place. Make sure you line everything up. Should go back into place pretty easily. Not much resistance. If you're getting resistance, pull your cover back off and see if maybe there's something laying in there. If you've left a tool in there, something's not plugged up, just check before you try to use a lot of force on it and break it or mess up anything internal. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and tighten our screws back up. And I normally do the 4 corners and then walk everything else around, kind of so it applies even pressure. On these two guys, just snug them up tight, don't overdo it. You don't want to crack your case. And once you have that back tight, you're done and ready to boot it up and boot from your USB thumb drive to reinstall your OS and go from there. Thank you guys for watching.